What's up, boys? What a night.
It's Super Recharge.
Dude, what a night we got tonight out of Rocky Mountain Pro, man. The faithful,
Woo.
big winners tonight. What a night. Supercharge was awesome. Love me a tournament.
As always. Tournaments are my favorite.
Yeah, but can you believe who won this one? Can you believe Casanova won this tournament? Can you absolutely believe it?
And it's in writing because I said it in chat when I was watching. I was actually rooting for him at one point just so he could rub it in Brother's face a little bit.
Yeah.
Because Brother had a great night.
Tough night to be Caden Koyama. Very tough night.
He has a new nickname. He's not Mr. Every Night. He's Mr. Didn't Win Tonight. Caden Koyama.
Big fat goose egg on the board tonight.
Goose egg, babies.
He's got a new name, Owen. Owen 2. In softball, we used to call that 2 in a barbecue. You lose 2 games and then just barbecue.
Yeah, you're out of the tournament. You lose 2 games.
All right, before we continue, I do see that we did end up getting a couple new pay-per-view members tonight. We have Remaster 1-Up and Peter Hames. Welcome.
Thank you, fellas. Thank you for subscribing. Best $10 you could possibly put on the internet.
Actually,
right here,
Remastered is a renewing one from the looks of it, and it looks like Peter is a new one, as a matter of fact.
Well, thank you both anyways.
Absolutely. 100%. Thanks for the effort. We appreciate you here.
All right. You guys ready to get things rocking and rolling here? We got a lot to talk about here and very little time here. So,
all right.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special edition of Dues and Belts Recharge on a Thursday night. I am your host, Johnny Deathdrop, and yes, normally this is Reignited. We're covering Ignition.
Oh, yeah.
Tonight was one of the odd months out of the year where you will be getting Supercharge. So tonight, for one time this month, you will get the Super Recharge Show. And I think that's what we're going to call it, at least for now, until we come up with a better name.
The Wicked Super Recharge Show guy.
It's Wicked Reignited and Charged.
Yeah,
we'll
Wicked.
Figure it out.
It's just Wicked.
It's Pissa.
Show.
It's our Pissa show.
It's the Wicked Pissa show. Yes, it is.
All right. With me tonight, of course, on the left, we have the one that lives way up there on the East Coast of Maine, the inventor of the Beacon of the Week, which we probably won't do till Sunday. We'll hold off on that till Sunday because we got a lot to talk about tonight.
Yeah.
He is the one and only pickier guy of the bunch, the one and only Coastal Crusade.
Can't even say it
it's
right.
Thursday, and you know what that means. Johnny has to give me crap about my... I'm a deli guy.
You're very picky over pickles, man.
It's got to be a good pickle to go with your cold cut sandwich. Marky's Italian. He understands that.
Did I ever ask you the question of whether you like dill or bread and butter better?
Bread and butter. I didn't even
butter?
think on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, 100% spicy too. But anyways, it was spicy tonight. We have interesting developments all over the place. Yaden and Damon we get to see again. And the all-out effort between, Echo and Casanova at the end. So much to talk about.
All right. And the pineapple tolerator of the group, he is your resident masshole himself, the one and only Marky Pins.
I will take that, the tolerator pineapple, but I'll tell you what is sweeter than any pineapple you could ever put on a pizza was tonight's show that we saw. The Ignition before the Supercharge cannot be forgotten. That main event, Caden Koyama against Zamori tonight, stole the show. It was such a great match. Koyama coming up a little short, but Zamori showing a new look and a drive to just win, and that is what he does. He gets 3 counts and he wins. We're going to talk more about the champ later on tonight.
I just have to chuckle because, in WWE, Rhea Ripley's the Eradicator and Marky's the Tolerator.
Tolerator.
All right, well, let's not waste any more time here. Let's start off first with the pre-show, which was, Ignition. And we had 3 matches for Ignition tonight. First match right out of the gate was the definition of what we like to call here at Rocky Mountain Pro, a hoss fight between Jason Knoll and Dalton McKenzie.
I call it a collision of meteors. The irresistible force meeting the immovable object, as Gorilla Monsoon once said many times. No, this match was just two big dudes beating each other up. And I'll tell you what, Jason Knowles, since he's come back, I have noticed a little bit of difference between the old Diamond Standard that we are seeing on the Rewind on Sundays on the Dudes and Belts. Check that out. And this new Diamond Standard. This new Diamond Standard's attitude is getting in the way, Marky, and that happened a lot tonight. He really just... he loses focus because he gets so angry and he's so fed up. He needs to channel that. Dalton McKenzie, on the other hand, the upside on this kid is to the moon. He's a beast of a specimen. He seems to be as agile as a deer when he wants to be. He kind of gives me old school Scott Steiner vibes before Steiner got all giant and huge and became Big Papa Pump. This kid's upside. He's
actually a huge Scott Steiner fan.
Yeah,
to him while we were out there, he's a huge Steiner, and it shows.
Well, it does. It absolutely does, and he has that upside just like that. He looks like a genetic freak and runs like a deer. I mean, he wins tonight, and Jason Knowles walking off all angry, yelling at Lucas, but Marky, he's only got himself to blame here. He's lacking focus.
I think that's an absolute fair assessment. Every time he did have Dalton down, and Jason Knoll controlled most of this match. Like, let's not take anything away from it. But there was so many times that he had Dalton down. Dalton kicks out at 2, and instead of staying on the man, putting a hold or a chin lock, something on him, he's getting up and he's arguing with Ref Eli every 3.5 seconds. That's giving Dalton the chance to get some oxygen in the lungs, and we see what happens when you get some oxygen in them big lungs at the end of the match. We saw the huge spine bust in the Death Valley Drive. And he just put the man down, and Dalton McKenzie gets a big win, showing up on Ignition, getting himself a point, but more importantly, taking a point away from big Jason Knoll. And I do have to agree with you, Coastal. I do think Jason's going to have to keep this head of his in check. The physicality is there, but right now he's letting himself lose mental focus too much.
Yeah.
Too much, and it's costing him.
All right. We move on from that match, of course, and we have Lockettes action, the only Lockettes action of the night, the entire night, I should say. We had Noelle Summit going up against Lola the Adventurer, and guys, Noelle made it perfectly clear. She doesn't need Salem, JC, or anybody from the Asylum with her to do some damage.
He says that loud and clear at the end of the match that she is ready to go, and this match is a testament to that. She comes up and brawls with Lola. It wasn't so much a wrestling match, it was far more of a fight here. She's turned that aggression up, and she has to against Lola. Lola's finding these like chippy ways, right, to get wins here and there, coming up, getting that X marks at the last second. But Noelle was a lot smarter than that. She blocks that X marks and ends up hitting what I'm gonna call the cut string cradle. That beautiful cravat, and she spins with the neck buster and everything like on her knee. It's a gorgeous move, and it just puts Lola down. And Lola, Coastal, actually, I want to talk about this for a second. Lola spent a lot of the time in this match on the mat. Noelle did a good job at grounding her, keeping her down, using that aggression. Noelle's been a different beast, hasn't she, man?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a testament to a little bit of both, but mostly on Noelle's end of a genesis. She's becoming more accomplished. She's starting to put things together. We always talked about, okay, you got all the tools. Now you got to put them in your tool bag, and you got to bring it with you every time. Now, especially since Salem and JC have gone away, we all kind of expected Noelle to be the lost little marionette puppet that didn't know what to do. Nothing is further from the truth. I think she's more dangerous now without Salem than she was with Salem, because there's no one controlling this rage. And we see that tonight. It's a lot of force. It's a lot of aggression. And, yeah, it's hot here on the East Coast.
Yeah,
Marky,
it's hot in the bowling alley right now, man.
Yeah, no, it is very warm up here.
Yes, it is.
But anyways, getting back to Noelle, I was just so impressed because, like you said, Marky, she blocks the X marks the spot. That's not something she would have done 3 months ago. And this is a Lola who we have seen has been right there, getting title shots. Can't cash in. Lola's got to start thinking now, what is the next plan to actually cash in on these? So it's kind of a crossroads for both Lockettes here.
All right, it's very interesting to see where Noelle goes from here in her journey to, I guess you could say, solidifying herself as one of the top Lockettes in Rocky Mountain Pro, even after the Asylum has come and gone. It's going to be very interesting to see how she progresses. And Lola the Eventualer taking a step back tonight. She seems to be taking a few L's lately, especially on Charge this past Tuesday during that triple threat match. What are your thoughts on Lola going forward here?
I mean, she is on a slide. She either needs to regroup with Preston in the law office, because we did see her pretty successful when they were all around. They've kind of separated a little bit here. We haven't seen Preston lately. He's probably busy chasing ambulances or something. I don't know. But she either needs to go back there or she needs to go to a new plant. This worked for a little bit, but it's not a good long-term solution. Now we need to go to another plant. So I just think she needs to regroup, because she has taken a few L's lately. And tonight, she did take that big finisher from Noelle, which I'm going to call the no strings attached.
There we go. Something like that. Yeah.
All right.
But no, and honestly, one little thing I want to bring up, and then we can move on. Something like this, you're seeing Adrian Mascara come out and make a lot of noise, get herself into a number one contender spot. Now you're seeing Noelle coming up and having a fantastic match that we haven't seen her with this level of aggression by herself, you know what I mean? Ever since, like you were talking about, Coastal, ever since Salem and JC and the Asylum has kind of gone away, like into the mist where it kind of came from. That now here's Noelle with this, everything that's still left, and seeing that the Lockette's division getting elevated, Midnight showing up and having a great match with Lilith last week on Ignition. Like, everybody has to step up. Adrian did it, and maybe Noelle kind of saw that she better do it or else she's going to get left behind. And she definitely stepped up tonight and showed out.
Lilith and Midnight, I believe, was a few weeks ago.
They've had a couple
It was
matches.
last week.
Yeah, no, they've had a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, on
They had
Ignition,
one
you
and
mean?
they had a-
On
yeah,
Ignition, you
yes,
mean?
yes.
Okay. Before we continue, we had a bunch of people just pop into chat here. Let's give a shout out to Titus, buddy Titus.
Our evil genius.
There it is.
How's
What's
it
up,
going?
dude?
We have
Oh,
John.
there they are.
We have John Corpus, Queen Vampires, Danger Dean El Presidente
Queen.
himself.
Hey! Arriba, sir.
We have Obi. We have Lusk. How's it going, everybody? Welcome. All right, you're just in time for the main event here on Ignition before we head into Supercharge here. We had Caden Koyama, who had 5 points and was one of two number one contenders to face Zamori. He now cashes in his opportunity here tonight against Zamori. And I gotta say, what a fantastic way to end off this shortened Ignition going into Supercharge.
Yeah, absolutely. This match, as the young kids say now, slapped. And Zamore is in chat right now, and I love the new look. Same attitude that we have seen.
Absolutely.
All
Yep.
business, all the time, from the time he steps into the ring. And he had to put up with the little weasel outside, Johnny Casanova. We're going to talk about him a lot tonight, unfortunately. Get your vomit bags ready.
Yeah.
Putting up with he's out there being a little weasel, hitting him on the outside, doing everything we knew that Johnny was going to do out there. And I'll give it up. Caden brought it tonight. This was one of the best matches I've seen Caden wrestle one-on-one, if you want to call it one-on-one, which it is. And Zamore showed again he has another gear. I don't know how many gears this Big Rig's got. I mean, I think we're up to 15 now, because just when you think he can't go any further in a triple threat match, he hits another gear. And then he goes up against, a guy just as big as him, hits another gear. Hits Jason Ole, another guy. I mean, I don't know how Zamore is unstoppable right now. It's kind of a shame. It's not a shame that he has the Ignition title, because, I'm glad he has it. He has earned it. He is defending it. I love seeing it. But Marky, it's kind of a shame this run he's on. He couldn't go further up the card to the main event spot of the other show, because the run he's on right now, David Drake should be looking over his shoulder.
Yeah, but these runs like this, even with the Ignition champ, this is confidence build. This is his building that foundation, building that next level of XP bar, where you do make that jump up and you have more confidence. Yes, he was a charge champion a long time ago. He was up there, but now it's different. Now more mature, more years of wisdom under the belt. Now you're doing it here and you are dominant. This is more confidence for when he moves forward. And right now, I don't think there's anybody with any more confidence in their belly in the locker room than Zamora. He comes up and Koyama throws everything. I said it right in chat in the beginning of this match that this match could very well steal the show, and in my opinion, it did. This was, in my opinion, the best wrestling match on the show. Koyama threw everything he could at a guy that was twice his size and on twice the roll. JK Pop had been very up and down with everything going on between the brothers, with La Isla and the tag team championships. It's been a wicked roller coaster for them. Zamora has just been up here at the summit of everything that is RMP at this moment in time. So for him to stay up there and just stay with it, because Koyama really had him on the mat. He had him reeling a lot of this match. The power came up at the end and finally gets the big Samoan drop after having a hard time with his back for a long time. Damn, Koyama wrestled a good match. He attacked the back. He attacked the knee and the leg area for so long, trying to keep the big man down, but big man got one extra shot of adrenaline, and that was what he needed to put Koyama away and make him 0-1 on the night. And the night was going to get far worse for that half of JK Pop, but Zamora couldn't look any better tonight. Fantastic title match. What a main event, and what a setup we had for this match going into Supercharged. But yeah, Johnny Casanova getting away with murder tonight, everything except, and then gets rewarded at the end. I wanted to vomit so many times. We're going to get to all this, but he factored into this too. But Zamora basically beat JK Pop tonight to retain the title.
All right. Well, with that conclusion of the match, that sends Caden Koyama back down to numero 0 in the Ignition point standings.
From scratch.
And now we officially only have one number one contender that we're still waiting on that cash in, and that is Curtis Cole, which he's a little bit preoccupied at the moment to begin with anyway, with NRW right around the corner.
He is running scared right now. He has no idea.
I would think Curtis would want to be Ignition around a whole lot of people. There's a lot of people there. He'd want to be in big crowds right now, right? Not by himself.
Seriously.
All right.
He should have an air tag on him at all times.
So that was the abbreviated Ignition. That was a pre-show before Supercharged tonight. Before we get into Supercharged itself, we're going to take this time and we're going to have Marky Pins kind of give everybody a little heads up on the point standings as of right now. We all know that Curtis Cole has 5 points, so we're still waiting on him to cash in on that opportunity against whoever the Ignition champion is, which we now know is Zamora. So, Marky, you have the floor for the next couple minutes. Let the people know.
Got it covered. Sorry I wasn't here last week, so we didn't get a points rundown last week, but with last week's Ignition and these 3 matches, well, 2 of them, one did not factor in with the Lockettes match. Standings as of right now, when your Ignition point standings, as of July 6th, 2023, Curtis Cole with 5 points. As you mentioned, Johnny, he is the number 1 contender. In first place in the drive for 5, Sergey with 4. Sergey working his way back to the top of the ladder, 1 match away from having his own number 1 contendership.
Sergey shouldn't be on the top of ladders. We've seen what happens on the top rope.
I'm telling you, as long as it doesn't involve climbing anything, if he just lets me do the math, he'll be fine. I'll take care of the math. Sergey, you just do the wrestle. Don't leave the ropes alone, bro. Leave the ropes alone. Tied for second place with, after last week's action and tonight, Johnny Casanova and Bruce Waynes, the final boss himself, both have 3 points. They're sitting 1 behind Sergey. Briscoe Crown moved his way up to 2. Dalton McKenzie, Kendrick LaRoe are both sitting at 1 point. Atiba, Panthro, and now Caden Koyama with where he lost. He does not go to -1. He just goes back to 0, goes back to par to start. We have 3 at 0, Panthro, Atiba, and Koyama, and then we start the negatives. Brew is at -1. He was not in action tonight. Balaam Lynx got himself to -2. Jason Knoll falls to -2. And then Mick Diamond and Cushman, Smoke and Mirrors, bringing up the rear, both tied at -5. So that's your point standings as of tonight. As of the Ignition, that was the pre-show for what we're about to get into, which is this wicked piss of Supercharged. where we did crown a #1 contender for the Charge title after NRW now, didn't we?
Yes, we did. And it could happen
didn't
at
we?
any time. Anytime. It doesn't have to be a pay-per-view. It could be a Charge or anywhere where the Charge title is present.
So it could happen before
Okay.
NRW. Okay.
It could happen before. It could happen during a pay-per-view, except for NRW, because Briscoe Crown already has that. Or it could happen anytime afterwards.
Okay.
Now, first, this whole entire Supercharge was the tourney for the #1 contendership for a Charge title opportunity in the future.
We had one other match.
Correct, and we'll get to that because that was towards the end. But let's get into the first round of this tournament here. We had 4 matches in the first round. And, of course, to start off the night, we had Mercury Yaden going up against... I mean, I think we've seen this a few times already during their feud. We had Damon Hayes versus Mercury Yaden in the first round to rekindle what has already been a blaze as of right now.
Rekindle, it hasn't gone out. It hasn't even been close to going out.
Well,
It's a field of tires.
It did kind of go out last Tuesday, just a little bit. This was just
gasoline. This was
just a little bit. We also had...
Especially how it ended.
We also had Echo versus Atiba. I mean, we've seen this a few times. This was our Dues and Bells dream match when we first started with Rocky Mountain Pro back about 2.5 years ago, let's say.
Yep.
Also in the first round, we had Caden Koyama, again, in action for a second time, going up against one half of La Isla, Balaam Lynx. And we also had the other half of JK Pop, Johnny Casanova, going up against Bruce Waynes in the first round. Fellas, what did you think about the first round action here to really get Supercharge going? Actually, for the first Supercharge in about 2 years.
Yeah, no, I mean, this whole first round, I mean, we started the tournament off with an absolute dynamite explosion with Damon Ace and Mercury Yaden. And I don't know, Yaden gets the win. That's not it's the important part, because I'm wondering if Damon kind of didn't care about the match and he cared about what he did after. And he was like, I don't care if you beat me because you're not getting back. You're not getting anything that I'm involved in. And, he just beats down Yaden, really hurts him for that next round.
I think he did care when he lost.
I thought he was pissed. Like, all right, Johnny, I thought Damon was more mad that Mercury Yaden outsmarted Damon Ace in this match. Damon had Yaden reeling for a little bit of a while. Went to throw him, went for a Boston Crab. Yaden blocked it, and then he goes for the monkey flip, and Yaden rolls him up in the monkey flip. It was brilliant. No, never seen it, hadn't seen it coming. He rolls him up, and then Damon just goes down and came up pissed. You saw how mad he was.
I guess, I don't know, maybe if he didn't want the match to go longer for even more punishment. I don't know if he always intended on winning. Maybe he was going to get himself.
I think he always intended on winning. No, I think Damon did always intend on winning. Like I said, I think he got more pissed that Yaden outsmarted him. And then he beat him down left and right, those stairs, and then all the way to the back. We're going to see Yaden next round. He is much worse for the wear.
But speaking of outsmarting, Marky, and I'm going to throw up my mouth here a little bit, that little weasel outsmarted the final boss with a turnbuckle.
Yep.
And I got to give him credit. Casanova fought off a much bigger boss, just being the little gnat that he is, and found a way to win.
Without Caden that match.
Yeah.
Both JK Pop, Caden Koyama, and Johnny Casanova all wrestled good nights tonight. Even though Koyama lost both of his matches, he still wrestled very good. We're going to talk about him and Balaam. I mean, Balaam gets the win with the big spinning brain buster that he does, but Koyama was in that for a few minutes, but he was also hurting. That match with Zamore that he had took so much out of him, and then to get Balaam, that's a terrible draw. Zamore and then Balaam Lynx, you're not winning. You might win one of those matches. You are not winning the second match. Balaam Lynx kind of made sure of that. So Koyama wrestled 2 good matches, but goes 0-2 tonight. Casanova outsmarts Bruce Waynes again. Ref doesn't see it because he put the cover back on too. Casanova at the end, he covered his tracks and he put the cover back on. He gets the win. Echo and Atiba both throw everything except the kitchen sink. They had one of the most beautiful technical matches in the beginning that you could have against each other, just reversing and outsmarting each one of the other one. But then eventually Echo does score that really quick drop kick right to the side of the head, and he ends up getting a win with that, and that's going to become a common theme of him throwing that drop kick out there, because he's doing a great job. He just gets moving so fast. Once Echo turns the volume up on people, it's really hard to turn it back down and regain any kind of control. And Atiba was looking good, but we have 4 very game and very worthy people to make it to the second round. Johnny Casanova, Balaam Lynx, Echo Boosin, and Mercury Yaden himself. So we have one hell of a second round approaching us here, gentlemen.
Echo is just on a mission right now. Since he's lost those belts, he's out to prove to everyone that he's just going to get it done.
Mm-hmm. You see the look in his eye when he comes out. You can see the glint, the glimmer that he's coming out. It is different. His whole persona is more intense now. We're seeing this theme developing, where as soon as people are turning their own intensity up to 12, 13, 14 on the dial, that things are getting done, things are happening. And Echo is realizing this. Echo ends up getting the second round match against Mercury Yaden. And as we see Yaden come back out, fellas, he's not all there. He looked like his balance was messed up.
Well, hold up. You are fast forwarding here. I wanted to ask a question before we moved on to the second round here.
Oh, my bad. I didn't know.
We're excited.
Okay. I get it.
Everything just segued.
There is something that needs to be brought up here in this first round matchup. We know that Chopper City has earned the right to challenge for the tag team championships at NRW, and that's less than a month away. However, both of these competitors of Chopper City, Bruce Waynes and Atiba, both lost in their singles matches tonight in this tournament in the first round. What do you think that does to their demeanor? I know they're not together as a tag team right now, but what do both of these losses pose in terms of their confidence in not just each other, but just themselves?
To me, there's one of two ways this goes. It either goes these 2 losses, they get mad, they don't talk about it, and it affects them individually, which hurts them as a tag team. Or 2, which is what I hope happens, they look at these and they go, okay, we lost our singles, now we focus on this tag title match we have with the Grapefruit Lords coming up.
Yeah, I'm very much with option B. I don't think this necessarily destroys their psyche. They have something to look forward to. They have a big match at a very big show coming up in just a little bit less than a month now. And that means a whole hell of a lot to them. Yes, this would have been another great opportunity to maybe put your name on some singles gold. But right now, I think Chopper City they're going to go to the back. The 2 of them are going to go out. Atiba, Bruce Waynes are going to go out to Bout Time, have a beer, have a burger, talk about what happened tonight, and just get focused on NRW. I think that they're finding that amongst each other. Atiba 3-4 months ago, probably not. But I think this new Atiba, I think he's doing it Brucey's way, and I think they're going to figure it out and just move forward as a team here.
And before we continue on to the second round of this Charge number 1 contendership tournament, let's not forget, for everybody who is in chat and who will be watching in the future, please, if you don't mind, hit that like button. Make sure that you leave a comment below this VOD. It helps with the YouTube algorithm to help reach more wrestling fans out there, and hopefully they become members of the RMP faithful. And also, don't forget, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. That's right. Say it. Say it.
Ring the bell. Ring the bell. Ring it.
I don't remember which button it is. I'm actually kind of afraid to do it.
Afraid to do what?
Come on. It's very loud. I keep on forgetting that. What was that? I have a bell. But it destroys their eardrums. So I'm sorry, Chad. But it happens. Yeah. And I always forget the wrong button. You know what? I'm going to make a note here. Every time.
You know what? You probably
We're doing this now. We're doing this now.
And say you could label them.
I just did. I just labeled them in pen. So there you go. That's the bell button. Okay. And I got to remember to turn it down. But just make sure you hit that notification button so that you don't miss a single Dudes and Belts live show or Charge episode or live Ignition during the week. And, of course, on Sunday nights for the Rocky Mountain Rewind.
and subscriber-only interviews once a month with Rocky Mountain Pro Talent.
Yes, I am
Like
currently.
we had Sergey on before. Check that one out in the
Yes,
archives.
I am
So much
currently.
fun.
I am currently
Mhm.
trying to work things out to try and get one this month. I know we've been busy going back and forth to Denver and stuff. Now that we're home, for the most part, we're not traveling
What a
anywhere for a little while. I'll be
Yeah,
able
but
to
we're already
sit
looking
down.
at flights.
Oh, what a month.
I will be we'll be sitting down and we'll be trying to get somebody on, hopefully this month, if not very early, right after NRW. That is the
Yes,
goal.
sir.
So we haven't forgot about those. All right, moving on to the second round here of Supercharge. We had Echo versus Yaden and Johnny Casanova versus Balaam Lynx. What is your take, actually, guys, on this second round grouping?
It's very much a tale of two different type of matches here. The first match with Yaden and Echo, that could have been an absolute show stealer, but Yaden was nowhere near 100%. And Lucas even said it in chat. It's hard to beat Echo when you're 100%, and Yaden was barely 50. It really, I take nothing away from Echo, but Mercury Yaden is a very dangerous man to wrestle, even when he's on one leg and can barely move, because of his amateur background, his mat wrestling game, and as much as Echo looks at Yaden as he's a guy that trained me. He helped to launch my career. This is his company. Now I got to kick him in the face when he's down. But Echo is doing what needs to be done. He understands it's just business, and he needs to win. And he does end up getting a win here over Mercury Yaden, who, big ups for Yaden and Bossman here. This was a heartfelt effort, blood, sweat, and tears, left everything in there, just was hampered by Damon Ace's attitude from the first match.
Yeah, Yaden really looked like he got his bell rung. He kept holding the side of his head like something was off. You could tell his equilibrium was off. Every time he'd go to walk and he staggered. You
get that fuzzy vision on one side, and
he fell down trying to whip Echo. Like, he just couldn't keep his balance, and Echo was extremely sportsman about it. But then once the match got going, Spicer was right in there asking Yaden if he wanted him to end it. Yaden's never going to end it, but we all know what happens. And then Echo does get the win again with that running drop kick, and it's putting people down. And he's got himself into the final. Against Yaden. Yaden threw everything he could at him, but it just wasn't to be tonight. Damon, God only knows how severe that fight was when they took to the back after that first round match. But
do you think that pushes Yaden to the brink?
that's a whole nother discussion, John. I don't know if we got time to talk about that. Yaden's psyche right now.
That's a whole different monster. Ooh. Yeah.
So, here's the Cliff Notes version.
Cliff Notes.
He gets mentally abused for months and physically assaulted by Damon Ace for months, even after beating him in numerous matches. Then finally gets outsmarted by Damon Ace in the last man standing match and takes away the three letters that mean the most to him, that are on a gold belt that he feels is his.
Basically me.
Yeah, basically me.
We've been watching the rewind. It's true.
Right. And now...
Right.
And then after that, Damon has done everything he can to make sure that Yaden's life is a walking, breathing, living hell. And that is exactly...
Physical. Damon Ace is just bringing anguish.
And tonight he did it again. Do I think he's pushing Yaden to see how far Yaden will go? Yeah, and we've seen it in the rewinds. We've seen it, we've seen it firsthand. Yaden has a fuse and you can light it. And it takes a while for it to go down. The man can take an incredible amount of crap rolling downhill at him. Every person has a breaking point. And the scary thing is, Yaden has a certain amount of power that he says he will not touch, but he has a certain amount of power to get what he wants, Marky. It's a tempting offer, is it not?
We've seen some people in Rocky Mountain Pro bring out the worst in others. We saw how Johnny Casanova lit that fuse under Atiba a while ago earlier this year. And I think you're right, bro. I think we're watching Damon Ace try to light that fuse under Yaden to get him to do something, to get him to go somewhere. I just want Yaden to recover from this get his equilibrium back, because the man has things to do. He's a father. He's got a lot going on. You can't have your head be ringing all over the place. Tonight was a rough night for Yaden. I hope he wakes up tomorrow and he can kind of deal with it. It goes away and he can refocus on what's really important. But tonight was a rough night for Yaden.
You want to know what's kind of sickening to think about? And if I know Damon Ace, I feel I do. And I followed him very closely in the wake. You know, that back in that dark time of Coastal Crusade.
Yeah, we remember
It
that.
was extremely dark time.
But what I think is happening here is I think Damon doesn't want to push him to the point where he uses his power because he said he wouldn't. He doesn't care that he says he wouldn't. He knows that Yaden will have to live with that for the rest of his life, that he used that power when he said he never would.
If he uses it.
And win, lose, or draw, that is what Damon wants, is he wants Yaden to live with the regret that he caused him for the rest of his life. The man plays mental chess.
Now, what about the other match here? We had Johnny Casanova and Balaam Lynx. That was a tough pill to swallow for Balaam Lynx, that's for sure.
This was the other story of JK Pop doing JK Pop things and getting JK Pop results. We see Koyama come out with Casanova against Balaam Lynx, and we think we're going to get a great match here. Casanova almost jumps the bell, but Lynx blocks it, keeps the momentum going. Casanova gets an opening, goes after the legs again, and there's just a lot going on. Balaam finally gets a little steam, gets it going, gets Casanova down. Johnny Casanova pulls Ref Alice over to check on him real quick as Balaam's going to the top. Koyama comes over. While the ref's not looking, we've seen it before, folks. We're going to see it again 1,000 times. Lynx gets crotched up on the top rope. Casanova hits his half of the Kaiju Buster, and we get a 1, 2, 3. So we have Casanova in the final with an assist from the turnbuckle pad and from Brother. So here we go, folks.
For a moment, I thought we weren't going to see Caden, because for the last month and a half, we have not seen Caden get involved in Johnny's match.
I was shocked, when I saw him.
We've seen Johnny. We haven't seen him come out with it.
No, we haven't.
Do commentary, but other than that, we have not. So I'm like, okay, maybe he's just out here to observe. I thought in my head, a happy part of me thought maybe this is where we see the end. Maybe he's out here to screw Brother. If I can't have it, nobody can. Just plant that seed a little bit in there. That'd be great. Think about that one, guys. But no, I'm like, okay. And then I start seeing it happen, and I'm going, okay, this is the old playbook. This is backyard football for them. You're writing plays in the sand. They don't even need to. They have them all in their heads. Yep. This was exactly the plan, and they got done what needed to get done. Johnny got to the finals.
All right. You're muted.
You're muted.
I said, and I puked in my mouth again for the second time when I saw that happen. That's two superior superstars that got out JK popped and missed an opportunity. So
I'll give Johnny the first one. That is using your head. That's you. No, not so much.
It's not the right way to win, but he did it by himself.
He did it by himself, air quotes.
So there was only one guy cheating.
But the second one is just classic JK pop.
Yeah.
Horse cockery, as Lieutenant Bud Flower would say tonight.
I'm surprised he didn't say it either.
I was very happy to see Bud on commentary. He sounded good. It was good to see Budrick. I'm glad he's doing well. Doing a good table with Danger Dean.
I wonder how that puke bucket is over there, Marky.
Oh, it's got to be half full by now with as many people as were in the Wimmer Arena tonight.
And we still got to talk about him one more time, too.
Yeah. And
at least the odds got evened very quickly in that. We're going to get to that, but we got like a little cool-off match here.
Yes, we do.
With one of the guys that's one of the most red-hot guys in all of RMP right now in Briscoe Crown.
Lord Mitchell Taylor, one half of your tag team champions currently, goes up against Briscoe Crown in a little bit of an impromptu one-on-one here. And Briscoe Crown, as you know from last Tuesday, became the #1 contender for the Charge Championship, and we're going to talk about everything.
Sick.
We're going to talk about okay, put it this way. We'll talk about Charge at a future date, and we'll let you know at the end of the show. But We do know that Briscoe is the number one contender at NRW, so this tournament right now does not affect his standing against Carson Drake in about a month from now. That's still happening.
It could have just been in, yeah.
Right. Yeah, he won that. He deserved it. That's his title shot at NRW. Who he faces may be in jeopardy or maybe in question, but we'll
see.
Now,
possibly.
Yeah, because the winner of this has the potential to announce they want a match before NRW, correct?
Potentially. Whether it happens or not, we don't know. But as of right now, we know that Briscoe Crown will be facing a charged champion at NRW. Let's just say it like that. We're assuming it's Carson Drake, but who knows after this tournament. But yeah, we had Lord Mitchell Taylor going up against Briscoe Crown, and Lord Mitchell Taylor doing Lord Mitchell Taylor things during the course of this matchup, guys.
And even before the match, Lord Mitchell Taylor, your stand-up routine is terrible. I've seen funnier looks at Walmart in 1 a.m. than your jokes. I
have read funnier jokes on popsicle sticks.
Yeah,
I'm a dad, and we're dads, and we tell dad jokes. And Mr. Taylor, those are terrible. You got to come up with something else, something from at least this millennium.
Mr. Stone,
please.
Help him write some material. You're his friend.
Something.
It was
anything.
awful.
Get Maxine.
And then I thought, oh look, Lord Mitchell Taylor's got a new piece of gear. He's got an arm sleeve. Maybe, and then I figured out why after he's pulling out, I don't know what it looked like, a nail file or something, and just poking Briscoe in the throat with it every 2 seconds.
He did it like 3 times in the match. He pulled out the gig and he hit him 3 separate times. But you see the experience, though, on a veteran knucklehead like him. He knows to keep himself between his opponent and the referee, and he does it expertly 3 separate times. I'm not condoning it, but if you do condone it, you have to condone the way that he does it, because he makes sure that ref who's right there on the spot doesn't see it 3 separate times. But it didn't end up even working, did it?
No,
Briscoe
because
just absorbed it.
Well, he absorbed it, but you're talking about using your noggin and the XP bars. Briscoe's grew very big tonight with the way he won this match, and it was quite awesome because he gets him in a hammerlock, and then Lord Mitchell Taylor thinks he has the right idea and just starts running in a circle to try and run Briscoe out or try and throw him off him. He doesn't realize Briscoe gets a lot of inertia. He flies a long way with a dude your size. Mitchell Taylor throws him. We'll do a quick physics lesson here. Big guy speeds up little guy and throws him. Try it off the monkey bars sometime at a playground, or those that sit and spin. And I could throw Marky 200 yards if I wanted to off that thing.
Briscoe and I are much the same. And I are much the same size. We've talked quite a bit when I've been out there. And for a guy Mitchell Taylor's size, because Briscoe did this to Mitchell Taylor earlier in the match. Mm-hmm. Briscoe was in a hammerlock, and he ended up running around and actually getting. He actually ended up throwing Mitchell Taylor out of the middle rope. So later on in the match, when Mitchell Taylor tries to turn it back around and do it back to Briscoe, he throws Briscoe over the top rope. While Coastal Crusader, aren't there rules in Rocky Mountain Pro about dumping your opponent over the top rope?
There is, and I don't know so much as I'll call it a throw because he did throw it over. Briscoe, wink, wink, nod, nod. If you jump, you picked a great time to jump, brother. That's all I have to say. That's either knowing the rules quite well or just taking advantage of physics as it is. Because you notice Briscoe had a little smile when he was leaving that ring. Mm-hmm. I think that might have been a little bit of a jump there to get out. But anyways, what a great win for Briscoe. He's red hot right now. He's got a charged championship match coming up at NRW, which, honestly, if it's against CBD, I'm picking him to win. I really am. Briscoe's going to get it done. That promo he caught the other day after he won on Charged, explaining how he's going to get it done because he has to get it done. And I fully believe that is the case. Now there's a little weasel that we're going to talk about in a minute, gets an opportunity that could ruin Briscoe's night. But we'll talk about how that's going to unfold here in a second. Right, Johnny?
Of course. And we are down to the finals here of this Supercharged tournament for the Charged Championship.
Yes, we are.
Johnny Casanova going up against Echo Boosin.
Coastal, what can we say? in the beginning of this match, Koyama comes out. I think JK Pop thought they were going to do it again. But La Isla's still game. We see Balaam and Echo still on the same page. We see they're both still best of buds. We see it on Charge. They're still talking to each other. They're still doing everything. Even though they're not a team, they're doing it in singles. They're still looking out for one another. And Balaam comes out and absolutely evens the odds. And I thought, okay, here we go. Now the odds are even, Johnny. We've gotten to the finals. You're here against Echo.
We're going to get a straight-up match.
You both wrestled a long time tonight. You both wrestled a lot of matches. Let's see who's got more gas left in the tank. And Costa, once Koyama got out of there, this was a really good match. In the beginning, they both had answers for each other's holds. There was more of a feeling out period. Neither one was going to make, unconscious mistakes, do something stupid. There's a lot riding on this match. And you could tell Casanova gets the first advantage with a few neck breakers, kind of starts working Echo's back and his neck. Nice dragon sleeper. It was very back and forth. When Echo fires up, he gets his boots. And I'm looking at this like this could honestly, I'm cheering for Echo. We're cheering for Echo. We really want Echo to pull this off here. And he's looking really good. But then Casanova, Coastal, just keeps coming up with answers and answers and answers, even after Echo's Enziguri.
Yeah,
Casanova you got the brainbusters and the impact moves that Casanova brought to the end of the match and then the finish. How does he do this? How did he pull this off?
So, for the first time in about 2.5 years, and it pains me to say this, and I'm going to throw up my mouth a little bit, I enjoyed watching Johnny Casanova wrestle tonight. When Caden left and we got to have a one-on-one wrestling match, he actually showed that he can hang. And Echo has been on fire lately, and Echo has that little extra tonight because this is one of the guys this is actually the guy that directly screwed them out of the tag titles against the Lemon Lords.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a little bit of, this is my retribution. This is where it's coming from. And I don't know if Johnny Casanova found a 4-leaf clover in Denver today. I don't know if he stepped in a pile of poop or got pooped on by a pigeon, because that's supposed to be good luck.
Just admit
supposed
it.
to be good luck.
Just admit it. Just admit it.
He won, and he is now your number one contender. Or not number one contender. He now has a shot at the Charge title before, after NRW.
That's a lot of power.
Can he cash it in at NRW and make it a triple threat?
I don't think he's willing to do that, but I'm sure that's an option. That's an option.
Why not? Think about it. JK Pop thrives in chaos.
Yes.
That's valid.
A triple threat match, and then you have Brother on the outside with no DQs?
No rules.
Oh, man.
It's valid.
It's NRW, no rules. That is correct. Every match is under some type of stipulation.
Valid.
It's an option. Valid. It's an option.
And think about it. And we never heard what, we don't know what the stipulation for that Charge title match will be between Briscoe and, we assume, CBD. Here's the other thing we don't know about. We said after NRW. Could be right after. I mean, if CBD goes to war with Briscoe in, let's say, a last man standing match, and Briscoe wins, but he can't walk, and then Casanova just struts out there, does his best Seth Rollins or Dolph Ziggler impersonation with the Money in the Bank, and he's like, hey, I'm cashing right now. That little weasel will do that. I mean, he is the most dangerous person to have a shot like this in that locker room.
I completely agree. This is so much power in Johnny Casanova's hand with JK Pop's reputation and the way that they do get wins, whether you like or you don't like how they get wins. They get a lot of wins. And if you give them an opportunity to work together and make sure that one of them wins, more often than not, they make sure that the other one wins. Mm-hmm. We saw it happen more than it didn't happen tonight.
However, let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, this wasn't just for the Charge Championship opportunity. These two competitors that wrestled in the finals do get an automatic bid into the Aces Wild tournament at the beginning of next year. So these two now have entries into that tournament when the new year starts.
Mm-hmm.
So
I guess that's the upside. If you're Echo Busan right now, that's an upside of this. Even though you wrestled a wicked piss of match, it was a fantastic match. Come up a little bit short at the 11th hour. You are in Aces Wild. You are now in the tournament. You are now in the that is a hell of a parting gift, you know, that they give you on a game show. You have an opportunity now to be in a tournament for the RMP championship just from making it to the finals.
And we've seen qualifying matches for those.
Either.
They're brutal.
Correct.
We saw Sledge almost decapitate Atiba in a qualifying match to get into Aces Wild.
Just to get into the final 8, not even to like in the final 8.
So yes, Johnny Casanova defeats Echo by himself to become a #1 contender for that Charge Championship in the future.
I can't believe we live in this universe.
These poor dudes.
Congratulations! I'll say it out loud. Congratulations to JK Pop for getting another singles title opportunity. Because it wasn't just one of them. It was definitely congratulations. JK Pop has a shot at the Charge Championship. Congratulations.
Let's give Johnny Casanova let's give Johnny Casanova 90% applause and Caden Koyama 10%.
I'm not pushing that button. It's loud.
Hey, Coastal, you know Koyama, right? You know Koyama? Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Owen.
Oh, Owen who?
0-2.
Oh, you guys are so funny.
Still better than any joke Lord Mitchell Taylor told tonight. Lord Mr. Hayless, Lord Mitchell Hayless, you need to go back to the Google page. Does he know how to go to Google and find dad jokes? It's so easy. Somebody needs to show Mitchell Hayless.
No, listen.
To Google and just find a list of dad jokes.
I guarantee you that the Duke of Grapefruits, Manny Lemons, gave him those jokes.
That's why they were so
And
bad.
that's what I'm calling him. If it's Lord Mitchell Taylor, he's not Manny Lemons. He's the Duke of Grapefruits.
Oh, sour jokes.
All
Wicked
right.
sour jokes.
All right, boys. That was the first Supercharge in close to 2 years. What'd you guys think of the first Supercharge back?
Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Just like that? Just do it again?
Mm-hmm.
Well, love me a tournament. This felt bigger than an Ignition. This felt like, with the tournament, with the atmosphere of getting to a finals and stuff like that. Not that Ignition isn't cool, because it is, but this had a little bit of a different feel because it was so much on the line of that Aces Wild bid.
Every match.
Opportunity. Right. Literally every match. Watching Mitchell Taylor get his butt kicked by Briscoe Crown was pretty awesome. Right. Hopefully Chopper City finishes that chapter of that book pretty soon at NRW.
You know what it was, Sparky? I mean, the Thursday Night Delight Ignition is great. It's like getting your coffee every day. But every once in a while when you show up and you get your coffee, you're like, oh, wait, I got some points. I get to get a large instead of a regular today for no extra cost. This was your no extra cost bonus.
That's right, baby.
It cost the new members $9.99, which, by the way, if you haven't watched
all of us $9.99.
Well, I mean, it's worth it.
If you haven't seen the show yet and you're not a member, you can still watch the show immediately after you become a Tier 2 member at $9.99. I know. I was just saying that, Coastal.
Well, no, Johnny. What I'm saying is, like I'm saying, you upsized your charge because you pay $9.99. You're going to get charged anyways. You got more charge tonight.
That is true. You got a super dose of charge.
You did. I mean, you subscribe. You get Sundays. You get the rewind with the dudes. On Tuesday nights, you get charged, and then you get recharged with the dudes and Titus. Thursday nights, you got Ignition, and you got reignited with the dudes. What more can you ask for?
There's not much.
All right, Coastal. This is typically the time where you run down the rest of the week going into next. However, do not say anything about Sunday because I will mention Sunday after you're done with your event review and disclaimer at the end.
Okay.
RMP has a busy weekend, so
they do. I'm sorry, you didn't send me the run sheet, so I don't have the events.
I'm sorry. So we have Charge Tapins, Ramiro's, and Snowpack.
Yeah, we got the Charge Tapings going on at Beer Stot Lager House. That's going to be on Friday night, and then we do have Ramiro's and Snowpack, 2 live events that you're going to show up to. Anytime you show up to an RMP live event, make sure you get there. You get to see everybody there. Who knows who you'll run into? You could run into Lord Mitchell Taylor in the parking lot. I wouldn't go near him. He might punch you. But
don't go near him. He'll probably try to annex your car to his kingdom or something and say that he has some decree.
But the
Stay
live
away from that
events
guy.
are always amazing. Make sure to go to Bierstadt. That was my first live RMP experience. Was Milestone 11 at Bierstadt. It was amazing.
Bierstadt is so awesome. Go there
RMP
and watch
live.
wrestling.
Go.
Yes. Yes. What an atmosphere at Bierstadt.
Very rowdy
Make sure
crowd this past month,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
Check out rmp.com and you'll get all those times
And of
for
course,
those events.
August 3rd is our next pay-per-view, which is NRW, starting at 7 p.m. here on YouTube or at the Wimmer if you're going to be in the Denver area. So there will be more info to come once everything is finalized, but I'm pretty sure that NRW will be live at the Wimmer at 7 p.m. and also live here on YouTube. And again, if you just became a member at Tier 2 for $9.99, you will be able to see NRW automatically because you became a member tonight or you renewed tonight. So that's what's going on. As we are getting very close to NRW, we're starting to see some things kind of come together before that big event. Now, of course, as we like to do at the end, sometimes in the beginning when I remember, but we are running later than normal on a Thursday night. So, pardon my timing, but Coastal Crusader, would you please be so kind as to the people of the audience who are going to be watching this now and later on this week,
Do my disclaimer.
do the disclaimer for the dudes and belts.
It's going to be a little bit nice this week. Coastal's been in a good mood. It's a holiday week, so
Does it have Casanova in it?
it doesn't actually. No, the
Oh,
views and
wow.
expression. Yeah, the views and expressions of the dudes and belts, super reignited, are those of Marky,
Super
Coastal.
Recharge.
super recharged, super reignited. All of those things. All of our opinions are those of ours. We're giving you what we think you want to hear. If you don't like it, don't yuck anybody else's yum. Just enjoy everything. Like what you like, don't like what you don't like. Everyone get along. Thank you.
That was pretty nice.
That was wicked, like mellow, nice and low key. I like it. I like it.
It's a holiday weekend, my friend.
Speaking of shows, we do have a Sunday show that we do every Sunday. It's typically the Rocky Mountain Rewind, or once we get everything booked, we typically do one membership live chat with RMP talent every month. However, this Sunday, we're going to change it up a little bit. We're actually going to do something that we haven't done in a little while.
Don't say top 10.
No, we're not doing top 10.
I'm not coming if we're doing top 10. I'm not.
We're not. Okay?
Well, Sunday's not here anymore, so we could.
That is true.
Actually, we could. We could.
Anyway,
If you know, you
when
know.
you-
I'm sorry. If you know, you know.
we're not going to risk it. Anyway.
Yeah.
Fair. That's fair.
We're going to have another special episode of Recharge on Sunday, as we are going to go over everything that happened on Tuesday, because there was a lot that happened this past Tuesday that we really haven't had the time to really talk about. So the first half of Sunday will be a special little edition of Recharge, just to kind of catch up on everything. And then the second half of the show, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in a while, we're just going to be chilling with chat.
Oh,
Oh,
a
very
chill
cool.
stream.
Yep. We're gonna
Foods and belts. Foods and belts.
We are going to be taking a week off. We will be watching NRW episode 4 next Sunday. But for now, because there was a couple big matches that happened on Charge this past Tuesday that I think definitely deserve some analyzing and some opinion making on our part. So the first half of Sunday will be a special episode of our regular Dudes and Belts Recharge, followed up by probably our first chill stream in what, months at least?
Well,
four months.
I have a pressing question from watching Charged from Tuesday. Marky, did it smell like I think it smelled when those red lights came on and Curtis Cole pooped his pants in the ring?
Yes, it
I
did.
mean, okay, I was gonna say you were right
Nope.
there.
Nope, that's a fact, and that absolutely happened. You can add 1 + 1 in your own head. However, when those red lights came on at the end of the night, when Curtis ended up beating Dalton McKenzie because he made me look stupid,
A weird funk smell came across the ring.
there was a smell like when your dog goes out later on in the evening. I'm just going to leave it there.
All right.
Curtis Cole.
All right. Well, yeah, everybody's saying the show is great.
Thank you.
Love to hear that. Love to see that. Greatly appreciate everybody here in the RMP faithful. Without you, as always, we wouldn't be doing this. And RMP wouldn't be doing this either, so we greatly appreciate you guys.
I mean, we could still do it, but they'd look weird at three guys talking to nobody.
Well, and because of that, that's why the second half of our show, we're going to kind of dedicate it to the RMP faithful. We're going to let them speak their minds, and we're not even going to make it a subscriber-only type thing. We're going to let everybody talk to us on Sunday.
Beauty.
Sounds good.
Be a lot of food to talk about. There'll be a lot of wrestling to talk about. It's really a good time over here on Sunday nights on the Dudes and Belts. So make sure you...
It's like a summer barbecue.
It really is. And of course, the perfect time of the year for that as well. So,
I'm actually reffing a show on Sunday down in southern Massachusetts. As all the fairs are happening, like the town fairs and the county fairs are happening this weekend, 4th of July. So, got a big show on Sunday. So that'll be fun. So I'll be here. I'll probably still have my stripes on by the time I get here. That'll be fun.
All right.
Yep.
Other than that, folks, again, if you guys do not mind, please leave a like on this video and make sure you leave a comment below the VOD so it helps out with the algorithm. And of course, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and
ring the bell.
Ring the bell.
Make sure you ring that bell. I rang the bell that time. Perfect. Make sure you ring the bell.
Sometimes those sounds don't come through the Discord.
Yeah, we luckily
some
can't
of
hear
them.
the bell.
I don't
hear them.
Yeah, your ears will be blowing out. I'm actually gonna fix that immediately afterwards. So,
probably a good idea.
But of course, guys, make sure you turn on that notification bell so you don't miss a single Dudes and Belts live show, charge episode, or live ignition every Thursday night and Tuesday night. All right, folks. For myself, Johnny Deathdrop, Coastal Crusader, and Marky Pins, we thank you so much for watching. I know it's a little bit later than normal, but you know what? We do what we got to do. As always, we're here, and we're giving you the utmost analyst content on YouTube for wrestling, bar none, with one of the best up-and-coming companies on YouTube and in the country. So,
damn straight there.
Without further ado, I bid you all farewell, and we will see you guys for a special episode of Recharge on Sunday and a nice little chill stream after that. As always, folks, stay safe, stay classy, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, folks.
Johnny Casanova.